All right, folks, it's the WC 2025 NBA Finals review. This is a classic video for me. It's an annual video for me, and I'm doing it in a different format this year. Make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe. All right, in this video, let me break it down for y'all real quick. In this video, we're going to address the elephant in the room, Tyrese Haliburton's injury. We're going to talk about the OKC Thunder's run and how historic it was, MVP, SGA. We're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about his legacy early. And then we're going to talk about next year, the West, the East. And ultimately, we're going to talk about if OKC can repeat. All right, that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So just go ahead, sit back, relax. I'm going to be trying to talk about that, all these things coming up in the video. Let's make sure that we start with the elephant in the room. Tyrese Haliburton's injury in the first quarter. Now, there's a lot of people, the consensus of people that are watching the game, the consensus of people that I've spoken to shortly after the NBA Finals is the what-if factor with Haliburton getting hurt. And I don't know. I think that we live in a day and age where the NBA is always fast-paced and everything is just kind of all over the place when it comes to scoring and pace. And, man, like, the Pacers had one of the fastest paces in the league. But this is an injury. This non-contact injury is something that we've seen multiple times during the playoffs with Dame Lillard, with Jason Tatum, and now with Haliburton, and arguably the biggest game of his life, for real. Game 7, NBA Finals is on the line, and it looked like Game 1 Haliburton was showing up. We talking about the same Haliburton that put the Knicks on their back, for real. It looked like he was just dialed in first quarter. I was like, man, this is just going to come down to the wire. It's going to come down to the last couple of shots, and it just never formulated because he was gone before you could really sit down with your food and just kind of sit there and watch the game at its core. And it's unfortunate. The Pacers had a really good season, but, you know, like, how many chances do you guys get to come out of the East like that? I mean, it's crazy to really think about. Let's talk about OKC. Are these guys fully loaded? To a specific degree, they are. All right. To another degree, like, we'll never really know. Like, we'll never really know because of Haliburton's injury if this team was completely built to beat them in a 7-game series. But coming into the game, Indiana Pacers were a minus 275 favorite on FanDuel Sportsbook. So I'm just saying, like, you know, people shouldn't be really shocked at this result, even with Haliburton on the court. It's not that much of a shocking result. They were one of the best teams in the league. In fact, they were the best team in the league for the majority of the season. They were front runners. They didn't necessarily need to come from behind. And there's going to be a lot of talk, all right, about SGA and his treatment during the NBA Finals. There were a lot of ticky-tack calls that he got. I know the OKC fans are going to come to this video saying I'm hating. I mean, I have to be objective. There was a few calls that Haliburton got that he just did not Haliburton, but SGA got. Well, Haliburton got some favorable calls in some of those games too. But the SGA got that was just not favorable. It just did not look good, didn't come off great. I think that SGA had, 23 throw attempts in this game? Game 7. He had 20. I think that he went to the line a lot. And I don't know. I'm not liking it. I didn't like it. I wasn't feeling it. And it impacts the game when somebody can go to the basket and just get those calls. And I have to be objective in this video. Yeah, he's league MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, NBA Finals MVP. So he's basically done the sweep, right? He sweeped that, and he got the championship and his ring. So he swept all those things. But we have to be objective about SGA's performance and the favoritism. There was a lot of favoritism in this game for SGA and those fouls, something that you didn't see the whole entire series. And we have to be objective here, and I just didn't like it, you know. But I'm not going to take anything away from him. He went out there. He did what he had to do. He's league MVP, and congratulations to him, his beautiful family, and everything like that. Do I think that, like, because earlier in this playoffs, I compared him to, maybe a young Jordan or a Kobe. Do I think that he's on that type of level? There's something about him, the calmness, the smoothness. He doesn't get too far up, and he doesn't get too far down. He doesn't show too much emotion. So you can't say that he's Kobe. You can't say that he's MJ, because Kobe and MJ, they showed their emotion in the game. They showed their emotion. There's like a coldness with SGA. There's a coldness with that guy, bro. And I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. It's something that, like, you don't necessarily see the fire in his eyes. You don't see the cold-bloodedness. You don't see the desire in his eyes. It's weird, bro. It's like nothing really phases that guy. And I don't know. I don't know. It's like out of all the young players, you saw Haliburton in the first quarter. Anybody was watching the game saw Haliburton in the first quarter just pump his team up. The fire, the emotion, everything that comes along with that. You didn't see too much of anything like that. That's been that way all season long with SGA. We haven't seen him be emotional on the court or anything, stoic or anything. After the game one loss, the look on his face, I mean, there was just nothing there. There was nothing there. There was no anger. There was nothing. Maybe in the locker room he drop kicked a chair or something, but you didn't see anything from him. He showed no emotion. And is that like a level of maturity? I don't know. But it's something I want people to keep an eye on. Like, I can't compare him to Jordan or Kobe, because from the emotional standpoint, maybe he's one more so behind the scenes, but on the court, in front of everybody, like, you just don't see it at all. It's just not there. It's non-existent, just from my standpoint. But I just wanted to point that out. But congratulations to the OKC Thunder and SGA, the triple MVP, League MVP, Western Conference MVP, NBA Finals MVP. He's got his ring. All right, now let's talk about the West and the competition and the possible threat of the rest of the West. Now, of course, we're going to have to start with the Lakers and Luka and LeBron. LeBron getting old. I don't know where people thinking that they're going to be here next year. They should possibly be here next year, because Luka technically is the top 3 player in the league when he's on. And LeBron, like, I don't know if LeBron had anything left in the tank. This should be his retirement year. And I don't want to spend too long on the Lakers, but I have to bring them up. All right, they still missing a part. They've done set it up for Dallas to be right back in the playoffs with Kyrie and AD, and on Wednesday, coming up in the next couple of days, they're probably going to draft Cooper number 1 overall. So we're going to see how that pans out. San Antonio with Wemby, I mean, like, it's just a matter of time before Wemby is in this conversation, man, where he's going to be right here. He's going to be the best player in the league. He's going to be a triple-double threat every single night. Just barring health. And if he can get a little bit more help, I know they got Stephen Castle down there. Like, they should be in the conversation coming up, all right, for sure. And then you have teams where you just kind of scratch your brain. Like, we can go to the Suns with the trade that they made, getting Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks. They still have Bill. Like, maybe they're going in a different direction. They could reload very, very quick there at Phoenix and be a factor. Maybe not a title threat, but a factor. The Warriors are still – the Warriors are old. I mean, even with JB over there, man, they're old. And Steph getting old, man. I mean, all of a sudden, Draymond definitely old. So what are the Warriors going to do to retool to be in the conversation? The Timberwolves should be, like, next year, they should be definitely in this conversation. I'm surprised that they didn't make a harder run at Durant, but they've got Randall, so it's like, it's not like they don't have that mid-tier stretch. So maybe they need to make another trade in order to be relevant. The Clippers are always in that conversation for whatever reason. I don't know why they're not really doing anything. I'm looking forward to seeing what teams like Portland do eventually. Like they've got a good young core there in Portland that I think that people should be keeping an eye out for. Of course, the Nuggets. I'd be disrespectful if I didn't mention the Nuggets. The Nuggets can retool. They're getting older too. Jokic and those guys are getting older too. Their window might be closing. But the rest of the West, man, I'm not sure. I'm going to be real with you. The rest of the West, I don't think there's too many other teams in the rest of the West that kind of scare you or maybe should be in the conversation. I can look over a couple things before the video's over and then just kind of get back at y'all. But that's kind of how I see the West. I think the West is very packed out. I'm looking at the Grizzlies, too, with that trade that they made of Bane to get all those number one picks. They're trying to build around Ja real quick. And y'all should watch out for the Grizzlies because in the next couple of years, they could be OKC. They could definitely be OKC in the next couple of years. So keep an eye out for Memphis. All right, that's a team that I'm really looking out for. Other teams like the Kings, like there's just certain moves that these guys got to make, and more. I think it's more so coaching than it is anything else. Let's look at the Eastern Conference real quick. The Cavaliers. I thought that the Cavaliers were going to be in the finals. I thought that this was a moment that we were going to be talking about Donovan Mitchell and him finally getting a ring. That's the way the Cavaliers were playing all year, but they got the injuries and the weirdness that went on there. Look at that Orlando Magic with that trade that they made to bring in Bane. I think that they brought in Porzingis too, so they're trying to show up that front court. If that's misinformation, let me know. So the Magic are looking to make a huge run in the East. I think that they should definitely be coming after Boston. We don't know what's going on with Boston, by the way, with Tatum's injury. I don't expect for him to be back until at least a little bit after All-Star break, if that. So Boston is like in full backpedal right now. Not saying that they can't be great without Tatum. This could be a chance for Jaylen Brown to have an MVP type season because he should be taking a lot of shots there in Boston. But it's just like the same feeling a year ago. Like I can't have the same feeling. It's like I was talking about dynasty maybe like last year because I thought that they were coming around, but Tatum's injury really does hurt that very, very much. Then there's like a large group of teams. I want to make sure that I mention the Knicks because the Knicks are going through trying to get a brand new coach. Should they be in this conversation again? Yes. Will they make it to the finals next year? There's so many teams that are standing in their way. Of course, teams like Indiana coming back. I don't know how Haliburton's injury is going to factor into next year. It's too early to project to see how hurt he is because it's a fresh injury. But Indiana is built to be back here again. But it's just that the East is such of a coin toss. And there's teams that didn't even damn near make the playoffs last year that could be in the NBA Finals next year in the East. Like that's weird to say. Like there's teams out there that are one or two players away from being in the NBA Finals, whether it be a draft pick or whether it be a stunning blockbuster trade or a player going to a team that just needed a little nudge, that just needed a little bit of a push. And like it's weird. Like there's a lot of teams. Like I can name off the Raptors, I could say the Hornets, the Wizards. I know the Heat made the playoffs, but it seems like the Heat are missing somebody outside of maybe Bam and Hero. They need another guy. That other guy was Jimmy, but of course he's not there anymore. There's just so many teams in the East that could just kind of come from out of absolutely nowhere. The Bulls, like there's so many teams that have the chance to just suddenly turn it around in the East. The East has been so wide open ever since like LeBron left, for sure. But the East has never been like, well, I can't say never, but we talking about like over the last few dozen years, the East hasn't necessarily been the stronger conference with the more stars. So it's way more wide open. I expect for the teams that said that we're going to be at the top to be there, but just keep an eye out on these smaller teams, these smaller market teams that can make moves, that could get players healthy, and that could be in the NBA Finals next year. ultimately, let's say it like this: OKC, of course, congratulations to them. They win the NBA championship. Do I think that they can repeat? No, I don't think that OKC can repeat. All right, it's just one of these things where the level of basketball changes so much, and there's a lot of teams out here that are like somewhat clones of OKC, where they have young talent, they've got young shooters, they got efficient shooters, and I don't think that, like, it's just, there's something about SGA that's just kind of off to me. I don't know what it is. It's so he's like I said, I mentioned it earlier. He's so cold, and we're not talking about cold, like cold-blooded, like for sure when a game on the line, for sure we know what's going to happen. We talk about like cold, where it's like if he really needed to carry OKC down in the series, like OKC wasn't down in the series. I don't think that they were down in any series. They might have been down to the Nuggets, but there's something about it that I don't like. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. It's just they don't strike me as a team that I can say is the beginning of a dynasty. Maybe they can prove me wrong next year. Maybe. That's a big maybe, baby. Let me know how you guys feel about my thoughts about the NBA Finals 2025 and my forecast for the 2025-26 season coming up later on in the year. I really want to thank all you guys, anybody that took the time to listen to this whole little 16, 17, 18-minute video. I do appreciate you guys. I want to do more long-form content like this, share it out with you guys. I'll put chapters in there so you guys can follow along with my takes and my views and my vision of the NBA. Very unfortunate injury with Haliburton, like I said before. And it just kind of feels, I'm going to be real with y'all, it kind of feels like we've been robbed of a really great finish in the NBA Finals. And we'll never know. We'll never know now. We're at the point where we'll never, ever know what would have happened if Haliburton never got hurt. So it is what it is. Love is love. Make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe on the way out. All right. And until next time, take care of yourself and each other, man. The NBA season is over. It's bittersweet. Every time the season ends, it's always bittersweet. All right. I'll be back next year. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll put some links up on the screen for videos that you guys can watch that's related to this one, including my reaction to Haliburton being hurt, and maybe one of those videos in which I spoke about SGA's performance during the playoffs, so you guys can kind of get an idea of why I feel the way about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You guys take care, and until next time, peace out. See you guys next season for all y'all that just watch for the NBA content.